Hi, Year 6. Okay, day 3. We're moving on now to looking at rounding numbers up to 10 million. Again, we're recapping right from the beginning of the year here. It's quite a lot of tasks for you to have a go at. Let's see how many you can do. Okay. So, when we're rounding numbers, we're often asked to round to the nearest 10, 100, and so on. We're going to be focusing on rounding to tens and hundreds. We're not looking at decimals today. So, I'm asking you to round the number represented in the place value chart below. So the first job is we need to work out what on earth number we've got here. So if I get my pen, let's see if we can work it out. So we've got 3 here. We've got 4, 3. We've got, how many have we got here? We've got 4 again. We've got 2, 5, and 7. We've got 6. And we've got 9. So that means we've got 3,434,769. So I just turn that off. Okay, so in that case then, let's have a look at rounding it to the nearest 10. So to round to the nearest 10, we're going to look at the column one place to the right, and we look to see whether it would round up or round down. Now I can see that the place to the right from the tens is the ones, and there is a 9. 9 is greater than 5, so we're going to round up. So therefore I'm going to have an answer of 3,434,770. To the nearest 100, I look at the hundreds. I look one place to the right. I have 6, so again it will round up. 1,000, I look at the thousands, look one place to the right, and so on. 10,000's the same. 100,000 and a million. Okay, so this time I want you to have a go at doing this one on your own, please. So pause the video now, have a go at answering these. Thank you. Okay, so the number you should have had was 3,267,900, not 900, 800, apologies, and 91. So the nearest 10, that would be here. Nearest 100, nearest 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and million. Okay. Activity 1, aimed at both groups, please. You have 2 of the same to have a go at, please. So either pick the left or the right or have a go at both. Pause the video now. Okay, let's see how you got on. Here are your answers. And on to the next. Okay, activity 2, same sort of thing, different context. So we have cities along the left here. Los Angeles, Sydney, etc. We have their population, so that's the amount of people that live there. And the table is asking you to round it to the nearest 10, 100,000, and million. So for example, with Los Angeles, if I'm looking to round it to the nearest 100,000, I do the same thing again. I have 12,309,530. 100,000 is here. I look to the right, which is a 0. So it's going to round down or stay the same. So the answer would be 12,300,000. We bulldoze the rest, turning them all into zeros. Okay, have a go at these. And here are your answers. Now, sometimes they'll give you the number and say round it to this, round it to that, etc., etc. Whereas sometimes they'll give you, like we have here, some numbers and ask you for numbers that would round to them. For example, it's asking for 5 numbers that would round to 200,000. So, a number that would round to 200,000 would be any number between 150,000 and 249,999. 500,000 would be between 450,000 and 549,999. And finally, 2,500,000 would be the numbers shown in red. So, both groups, bearing in mind that, have a go please. Can you think of 5 numbers for each of these that would round to below to the nearest 10,000, and that's really important, to the nearest 10,000. So the first one, if I'm looking here, for example, oh, the screen got brighter. I don't know if you can see that. If we look here, for example, the 10,000s column has a 0 next to it. So I've looked at the 10,000s, I've looked next to it, it's 0. So 340,000. If I know that I'm rounding that to the nearest 10,000, I'm thinking, what's the lowest it could be? Well, I'm thinking 335,000, that sort of area. And then what's the highest it could be? Well, I know if it's anything higher than 349,000, it would round up, so it can't be that. So what if it was 344,000? Oh yeah, that would work. 344,000? Yeah, but I could go a bit higher than that. So what about 344,999? A bit like on the previous slide. So let's have a look and see. There we go. How many of those did you get right? Okay. Activity 4, mainly aimed at my group. However, Mrs. Woolston's group, you are more than welcome to have a go, as always. Using the clues, figure out which of the numbers below is number. Oh dear, that's a very big mistake. Is the letter A, B, C, and D. So, number A rounds to 3 million to the nearest million. So one of these will match to number, letter A, apologies. Number B rounds to 800,000. We're not sure what the question mark is yet, to its nearest 100,000. One of those will go there. C has the digit 5 in its hundreds place, not 100,000s, it's hundreds. And D has a digit total of 35. So when you add the digits together, you get 35. See if you can work out which letter matches to which number. And here we go. And finally, activity 5. I'm thinking of two numbers. The first of the two numbers rounds to 4,321,200 to the nearest 100. The second number rounds to 4,321,250 to the nearest 10. What is the greatest possible difference between my two numbers? That means what is the greatest possible difference, i.e. the amount between the two numbers. And here you go. Okay, thank you very much everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. Bit of a longer lesson in terms of the activities you had to do. Tomorrow we'll be moving on to something different. If you have any questions, as always, please post them either on the website or contact via email. Please also look out today for the first video in the Mr. Kent Reads series, which is where I'll be reading you a book chapter at a time. Thank you very much. Bye.